Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. We have another great show planned for you today. Of course, I would say that, wouldn't I? Doesn't mean it's not true. The first half of the show is going to be about food and the second half about art, two things I happen to like. If I had to make a choice, one over the other, definitely the food. I like to eat, especially if somebody else has cooked it. I can cook, I just find, it gets boring sometimes. You know, when my husband was alive, he did the majority of the cooking. He loved making meals for me, and I loved eating the food that he loved making for me. It was perfect. I do eat out occasionally, but I try not to do it too often. I pay for it later. I find it difficult not to be tempted by eating foods that I shouldn't. Recently, my friend Allie took me to a new restaurant, Urban Sprout. I was really impressed by the things they served there, like fresh squeezed orange juice was really good. Allie suggested I invite the owners on today as guests. So I did, and they accepted. Isn't that great? So today, we're going to get to know a little bit more about the owners of Urban Sprout. Oh, hi. Thanks so much for coming. You're Megan. Nice to meet you, Megan.
Hello.
Hi, and you are?
Olivia.
Olivia and Laura, I think I met you at the restaurant.
Yes.
So glad you can all be here. So I guess the two of you are going to come in first, and your mom's going to join after the break?
Yes.
Awesome. Please, have a seat here. So listen, I really, really appreciate you being here today. This is great. I have lots of questions to ask you. First, I want to know, tell everybody what types of food you serve at Urban Sprout.
Well, we strive to be 100% organic, and we have wrapped salads, sandwiches, soups, smoothies, teas, coffees, and fresh pressed juices as well.
Oh, that's really good. So who came up with that concept?
A lot of it was joint
Join passion for healthy foods and bringing that to the community here in Chilliwack.
Yeah.
Since there isn't a lot of options for vegan or
Gluten-free.
gluten-free.
We wanted to have a place where everyone could come and eat and enjoy the food.
So this is a family-owned business, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like, are you actual part of the business owner?
Yes.
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 Owners? All right. So who all works there?
Olivia, me, Laura, James,
James
and
is?
my brother.
Okay.
Our brother. Yes.
So is it just family?
No, we also have a few other employees. We're about 10 or 11 right now.
Oh, that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
So who does the cooking? Do you all cook?
Mostly it's James and Laura, and we have also another cook named Robin and Natasha as well.
Oh, very good. Okay. I was just thinking about the name Urban Sprout. You know, I have to just, a little aside here. When I first heard the name Urban Sprout, my thought was, city, little kid. That's, just kidding. So who came up with the name Urban Sprout? How did that come about?
It was me, Megan, and Laura who were kind of contemplating. We had a few other names that we were thinking of, and we just thought it was perfect because it kind of tied in healthy eating, like a sprout, and then also being in the city, like the downtown hub.
All right. So now you talked about Laura. Now she's your mom, right?
Yes, she is my mom.
So if there's a decision that has to be made concerning the restaurant, is it a decision that like a majority decision, or does mom rule?
Well, we have discussions a lot. She's the director of operations, but
Yes.
as managers, we all talk about anything that needs to be done.
All right. So now I just want to go off the restaurant, but I think there's other things you want to add in first before I go off other things, or there's something.
Well, Olivia could talk about how it all started.
Oh, great. Okay.
Okay, so the cafe, it was meant to be kind of a physical representation of peace in the downtown area, and it all started last spring. We went to Ojai, California, me and my mom, and I was interviewing an artist, Brian Berman, and he was telling me his story of how he made Ojai, California an international city of peace. And that really inspired me to do that and bring that back here for Chilliwack. And so Megan teamed up with me. And on August 5th, 2015, we made Chilliwack the 5th International City of Peace in Canada and the 113th City of Peace in the world.
Wow.
So that kind of started the drive to bring peace and initiative for that in the downtown.
Wow, that's really good. That's nice to hear, actually. One thing I forgot to ask you is, do you buy your foods locally, your products?
A majority
Yeah,
of
the majority
them,
of it, and it's organic, so we try to be all local and all organic.
Yeah, it's hard to get everything local, I imagine,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so I just want to go off now, off the subject of the restaurant. Like when you're not busy there, what do you do with your lives? Are you in school? Do you just bum around? Like, just typical things. So what do you do, Megan?
I'm going to school for business administration right now at the University of the Fraser Valley.
Right.
So the cafe is a great experience for me, learning management and different skills that go along with that. It's really great.
So what's your ultimate goal at the end of that?
Right now, it's just obtaining a bachelor's degree, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to specialize in. I'm leaning towards accounting, but yeah.
Okay, but are you going to stay in the restaurant business?
I'm hoping to.
Yeah? Oh, that's really good. Okay, what about you, Olivia? When you're not working, what are you doing?
I'm a student at Chilliwack Senior Secondary. I'm in grade 11.
Okay.
I'm learning.
Good. So, but what are your dreams for later on down the...
I want to go into psychology and public relations. So I really focus on the peace aspect, and I'm really interested in art as well. So
What kind of art are you interested in?
painting, I love to paint.
Do you?
Pastel, yeah.
Oh, very good. Okay, so now when it comes to the restaurant, where do you see it going or developing? How's it going to grow?
We let it grow itself, and
Yeah.
we go with the full flow, and everything that happens, we go with it, and we take it as it comes.
I think we're going to have to break there because we're almost at that time. But stay tuned. We'll be right back, and we're going to switch off with Laura after the break. Stay there. Well, we're back. I'm glad you are too. So during the break, Laura came and joined us, and her daughter Olivia just stepped aside, and they have more things to talk about. Okay, so what I want to know is, do you have any plans in the future for the cafe? I would have been calling it restaurant, and I'm sorry.
Well, the best thing to do in the restaurant world is to keep expanding what you have, bring in more variety. So the spice, bringing the more fresh spices into all of our foods, because that's when you cook with organic and that fresh of food, you've got to bring in more flavor. So we're expanding in our gardens. We're growing our own. We're becoming farm to table very soon. We've already secured the land and have planted our seeds for this year. We're excited about that. We're painting a peace pole in front of Urban Sprout right now, so it'll be Chilliwack's first official peace pole.
What is a peace pole?
A peace pole, if you Google it, you can see how they're popping up all over the world, in people's gardens, in front of their businesses, at schools, very big in schools. And the peace poles represent peace in that community, and it incorporates the community as a whole.
Okay, but I'm not getting a vision of what it would look like. Like I have no...
Well, people design their peace pole very differently from one another. Some have doves on the top, some just have different languages of the people that reside in that area. So peace poles, there are lots of peace poles to view if you wanted to look at them and Google them. So ours is, of course, going to be original to Urban Sprout, and how Urban Sprout, our flavor, our colors, and it'll be
Right in front of our cafe.
in front of the cafe.
Right now it's just under the workings, but pretty soon it'll be all finished.
I'm anxious to see that. I forgot to ask is, how did you choose a location? Because I know you hear that all the time. Location is really important. So how did you find your location?
Well, location is definitely really important, and because our cafe, we want it to represent peace, and I've been born and raised in Chilliwack, and I have a big heart for the historic district, and we really wanted to invest in that part of town because we can tell that it really needs it right now.
Oh, that's great. We should mention probably when you're open, right? What hours you are, and how many people can be seated in your cafe?
Well, right now we're at comfortably 40. We can go up to 55. And some of our nights where we have the acoustic poet nights, where people come and they bring their acoustic instruments and jam together, and it's a lot of fun, and the youth come and they share poetry. We have adult poets that come. It's wonderful to see that intergenerational gap close on evenings like that, where they're sharing with one another, everyone's expanding in their thinking and sharing, and so it's really wonderful to have that. We also wanted to share with you the girls, when they went up in front of the city council, excuse me, around the peace movement and what they have done with the 5th International City of Peace. They asked that the park there have an additional name, not change the name, just bring an additional word or two to the name of it. So they asked to be named Five Corners Peace Park to represent the 5 cornerstones of peace, which is really important. And so Mr. Lum and Mr. Klute stopped by the other day and told the girls that they were going to call the park the 5 Corners Peace Park. And so we've now moved into helping that park on the end of the road to move into that, into a new phase in itself. So there's a lot. Our ideas for our cafe are more community-based. The gardens across the street, everyone working down there to help it to evolve in an optimal way, are working together, and so we really want to make that happen through our existence there as well. So Urban Sprout, as my daughter Olivia says, she loves to see the paint and the love that comes from all that we do there. Just let it spill out into the streets, and so that's our intentions.
That is lovely. I love that whole concept. Are you part of the what is it? The Art Under the Umbrella?
Yes. That's through Chilliwack Art Council, and they put an event on in the park down there, the Chilliwack Park, is that what it's called? And they have different artists come and set up their booths and share their art wares. And so we tagged on with them and said, we'd like to do an event and help to promote Art Under the Umbrella and art down in the historical part of Chilliwack, because that's the heartbeat. The historical part's the heartbeat and has a lot of art and culture there. So it belongs there. So we came up with this wonderful idea based on something I had done when I was a child. And I remember painting on windows at a store for Halloween, and it was a contest. And it expanded my artistic creative ability and inspired me as a child. And we did it every year. And everyone got an honorable mention and, of course, was recognized for their participation. And so I went around and I said, girls, you want to do this first? And they said, yes, we want to do this. We'll put in the time. And then we went around to all the people across our street from Urban Sprout and on our street and said, would you let the youth paint on your windows for a day? And so we're painting the town, and the youth have, there's 2 themes. It goes from grade 1 all the way up to adult artists. And we have nice mural walls that we're going to put the murals on. They'll be more permanent in the core.
Right. It just made me think of something that I saw when I lived in Quebec, in a town called Lachine. They had painted and decorated all the fire hydrants.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah,
too.
it was something really different. It was just absolutely marvelous. And I don't know who did it. I just seen it afterwards, But speaking of art now, is it any particular kind, like is it all just painting on windows? Is that what it's going to be?
The young ones will paint on the windows. There's 2 themes. We have 2 themes. The youth will, there is, the name of Chilliwack stands for Where the Waters Flow, Everything Grows. And yeah, and then the adults, just whatever inspires them.
Right. Well, unfortunately, we're just about out of time, but I do have one more question for you. Who's your mom's favorite?
Everyone. She has a big heart for everyone in this town.
Okay. No, I meant of your kids.
I don't think she has one.
Oh, they wouldn't say anyway. Okay, well, I'm just kidding. Listen, we're out of time, unfortunately, but I appreciate you being here, and I hope you come back again with samples next time. That would be really nice. Thanks for tuning in, but listen, don't go away because there's much more coming up after this quick break. See you then.